What's up, you fucking idiots? You fucking idiots. You fucking idiots. Dude, I'm here in Ikebukuro, changing up the locale, if you will, today. Today is Sunday the 28th. So, 29th. So it's like Halloween season. Yesterday was maybe like the big party night. Maybe Halloween night will be a little bit crazier, which is during the week, but yesterday was Saturday, so maybe yesterday was like the big Halloween party night. Like if you were interested in going to Shibuya and seeing all the people partying and in their costumes, I think last night would have been the night. I didn't go. I went last year and there's too many fucking people, too crowded for me, too many obnoxious drunk people, and like there's nothing in the world that I hate more than crowded places with alcohol. It's just recipe for disaster and recipe for me getting fucking triggered. So yeah, I didn't go there. I was told that Ikebukuro would be a little bit less like crazy and there would still be a bunch of people cosplaying and like doing costumes and shit like that. So I came out to Ikebukuro, try to get some interesting video, but like so far I've seen like 5 people wearing costumes. Like there's really not anything going on out here. I really thought there was going to be a lot more going on in Ikebukuro, but there's just a lot of people like shopping, like doing touristy shit as they always are. So not going back to Shibuya. Like I was thinking about going back there like just to see what it's like there since Ikebukuro was boring, trying to get a little video, but it's like way out of my fucking way. So at this point, like just show you guys what Ikebukuro looks like a little bit. This is like one of the main like red light districts, like shopping and partying and shit like that in Tokyo. Honestly, it's pretty boring in my opinion. Like there are a couple good restaurants, so that's cool, but every time I come here, it's just like a lot of flashing lights and a lot of shopping, and I don't know, it doesn't seem like really that interesting to me. Ikebukuro is like the northeast. It's like northeast of like Shibuya and Shinjuku and all that shit. It's a little bit out of the way. But anyways, dude, I'm actually on my way like out here. Like I was walking out of the station and I was trying to go really fast up the stairs. And you know when you hit like the top of your foot, or like you know when you hit your toes on like the top of the stair that you're going up when you're going up the stairs and you trip and you fall and you like hit your knee? I did that on the stairs up here, and the best thing you can do when that happens is literally just act like it didn't happen. Like I fell and I just got up and I looked at my phone and I was just like, I wasn't trying to look at anybody, see all the people laughing at me. But I guess in this video, while I'm showing you Ikebukuro, Ike meaning pond, Bukuro meaning bag. I don't know what the fuck pond bag means. I'm sure there's some type of origin to the name, but yeah, I don't know actually. But I want to respond to a question that someone sent me. Someone sent me on PayPal a couple bucks and asked me if I could talk about this topic, so that's what I'm going to do. This guy's name is Camden. He watched one of my previous videos where I was talking about would I raise a family in Japan, and I said, yeah, I don't know, like maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. Talked about like the ups and downsides, and one of the reasons that I might not is because the way that women, and specifically girls, like younger girls, are treated and seen here in Japan. And he said that he had never heard of anything like that, and he was just wondering if I could elaborate on that a little bit more. And definitely a touchy subject and a tricky subject, and not only do I want to be careful of what I say just because, I don't know, the content is kind of fucked up, but also I don't want to make too big of generalizations, and I also don't have like a lot of data to back me up. I'm just simply speaking off of my opinion and my experiences and, you know, what I've seen as a dumbass foreigner here in Japan in the last year and a half, and what I've been told by the people here and what I've experienced. So I'm going to try to do my best to paint a picture for you guys and see if you can understand where I'm coming from when I say that women aren't seen and treated here as, you know, maybe as I would like them to be if I was going to raise a daughter here. So the first one I mentioned in the previous video was junior idol is a big thing. So I'm sure you guys know what idol is if you know like anything about Japan. It's just like basically a cute girl, and you know, she's like a model, or maybe she's a singer or whatever. Probably does a lot of different talent shit, but like they always try to get idols to do like creepier and creepier and like more revealing and more like sexy photo shoots and video shoots. Like as they get idols, you know, they always start out being just like dancers or singers or just like cute girls or something like that, or like models, and then, you know, next thing they know, they're doing like skimpy bikini shoots, and then after that they're doing, you know, they're on the Japanese version of blacked.com. which I don't think that exists, but you get where I'm coming from. So junior idol is a thing, and that's, I mean, like, use your brain. Junior meaning like minor, like below 18. And I mean, I don't know the ages of them. I've seen the magazines around and shit, and like the girls look like they're like 10, 11, 12 to me, or like maybe even younger in some cases. I don't fucking know, but they're like legit young girls, like prepubescent, and like you can see like the magazines and like in fucking convenience stores. You can see them in like if you go to Akihabara is like a gaming district, an electronic district, but at the same time it has a bunch of like porn shops and like anime and magazine shops and shit like that, and you always see them around, and they're like literally prepubescent girls in like these skimpy ass like fucking bikinis, like squatting down and shit like that. Like, it's fucking disgusting, and it's fucking creepy, and it's fucking weird, and that shit is way normalized here. And additionally, like this shit called lolly, I think it's called lolly. It's like anime with like little girls. It's like a hentai with like little girls, like, you know, like anime porn. And it's got like legit like little girls on it, like fucking draw that shit. And apparently it's okay, but I don't know, I still think that's fucking disgusting. The way they depict like little girls and shit in anime here, when they have like fat titties on them and weird shit. It's strange. And I mean, this is just like one aspect of the bigger picture. The bigger picture being that like the over-sexualization and the dehumanization of women, specifically young girls here, definitely grosses me out and creeps me out and doesn't make me feel super comfortable about like having a daughter here. Like the creeper, like upskirt videos and groping on trains and creepy shit like that goes on like at an insane rate here. Like, obviously, you know, maybe it's not as violent as America, and that's definitely a dub, that's definitely a good thing, but like every fucking girl that I know that's Japanese that lives here has been groped on the train countless times, has found older men trying to take pictures of them, all types of shit like that. And like the sex services and the porn industry is just like insane here. A lot of guys don't at all interact with women, don't have girlfriends, don't do anything like that, but they pay for porn and they pay for sexual services and shit like that. And naturally that's going to put your mind in the state of thinking like, you know, women are nothing more than just these sexual objects. I'm definitely not the white knight feminist warrior that maybe some people are in America. And, you know, I just think it's funny because a lot of people in America, like really young people mainly, don't really realize, I think, how good they have it and how nice they have it and like how many rights they have in America. Because if you ever watch these, like I talked about this in a different video, if you ever watch these like Japan videos about like, you know, guys will be interviewing Japanese girls on the street and they ask like, oh, what do you think about foreign guys? What do you think about Western guys? What do you think about American guys? And they always say like, oh, they seem like gentlemen, they seem like they actually care about the girls, etc., etc. And always the comments on it are all a bunch of dumbass Americans being like, what the fuck? You think Americans actually care about women? You think American guys are gentlemanly? Like, are you fucking kidding me? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Dude, if you haven't lived in other countries, if you haven't lived in non-Western countries, which is most of the world, you really don't realize how many rights you have and how nice you have it in America or another Western country like that. In many jobs here, women have to supply a birth certificate of theirs when they're applying for the job to prove how young they are, because they don't want older women working with them, because they don't want to be, you know, because they would rather have cute young women to make the company look attractive, as opposed to just caring about how qualified they actually are for the job and being able to work. They're more interested in like how the woman looks. On top of that, out of all the Japanese girl friends that I have, maybe if I have like, you know, 10 or something, they've all told me all the same stories of, you know, actually I went on this date with this girl one time and she had dyed hair, and she was like, oh, well, I like going on dates with foreign men because they don't mind that I dye my hair. And I was like, what? Like, what? And she's like, well, no, like Japanese guys would like excommunicate you if you dye your hair. And I was like really? And she told me this whole long story of like, yeah, well, like if you don't do what's considered the norm, or you do something that like makes you stand out a little bit, or something that's seen as like not womanly, Japanese guys will excommunicate you and act like you don't fucking belong here, or you don't fucking deserve any attention from men and shit like that. And basically all the fucking Japanese girlfriends that I have told me the same story in some form, A, B, or C situation or thing that they did or way that they acted, and then guys have been like, you know, like really mean to them, like really bullied them, like cyber bullied them, or like written notes about them or anonymous messages, shit like that, and really like fucking attack them for random shit like that really doesn't fucking matter. And I'm like I said, obviously I know somebody's gonna be like, bro, that happens in America too. Not on the same scale, dude. And like I said, I mean, I don't have the evidence, like I don't have the studies, and I don't know how you ever could get the study to prove this shit. But if you live here and you hear the way that people talk about women, and you hear the stories of all the women here, you would understand. Another thing, it's totally a normal thing for girls here to say yamete, which if you know yamete, it means stop. Whenever you're doing anything, even if you're just kissing, it's totally normal for them to say stop. And I always stop because I'm a gentleman. Also, I'm not trying to get fucking Me Too'd out here. And I told my Japanese friends that, and they were dying laughing and cracking up. And they're like, what? You stopped when she said stop? And I was like, well, fucking yeah. Like, I'm not trying to I'm not playing around with that shit, dude. I'm not playing around with that shit. I'm not trying to get Me Too'd. Girls also looked at me like I was fucking crazy when I stopped. And I mean, if that's what turns you on, if that's what gets you going, like, okay, but like, let's establish that beforehand. And I think the fact that that's even a fantasy of theirs, and I mean, sure, in America, definitely that's a thing as well, but to the scale it is here, just from my small sample size, it doesn't compare. And just the fact that that is such a known thing, that's normal, and that's what you do, and like Japanese guys laugh at me for I'm saying I stopped, they're like, what? Like, without any question, that's obviously the wrong decision, is what like they're saying, basically. And I think that's fucking crazy. I think that says something about a bigger picture. Maybe I'm just naive, man. Maybe I'm a dumbass, but I could probably think of a whole bunch of other examples. Like I said, a lot of the shit is shit you just have to pick up from being here and interacting with Japanese people and seeing Japanese culture and kind of understanding how things go here. But you'll just see like small, subtle things that people say about women, the way that men treat women here. It's so funny because Japanese women tend to have this idea of foreign men, Western men being like, oh, ladies first and shit. And I do get that has gone away a little bit in recent years, which it's fucking funny when like super feministy people say that, and they say like, oh, we don't have gentlemen anymore. We literally don't, because you told us that was sexist to do that shit. You said that was misogynistic to treat women differently and to treat women like they need extra help and that you want to treat them like ladies. And now you're saying that we don't have gentlemen anymore. Like, that's fucking because of you and the movement you're pushing. But anyways, the ladies first sentiment that does still exist to a certain degree in America, it just does not exist here. Something else I forgot to mention is, like I mentioned this in the other video, but the age of consent was like 12 or something like that up until like super recently. It recently changed in like within like the last couple of years. And this is a fucking first world country. This is your dreamland, isn't it? Anime weebs. It's one of the most apparently successful countries in the world, and they're just now figuring out in the last few years that you shouldn't be fucking 13-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously, I love Japan. I love a lot of things about being here. I don't want to make all my videos about talking shit about Japan and the bad things about being in Japan, but naturally I do recognize that that's what's more interesting to people, because generally the image that people have of Japan in the States and in the West is like this perfect, awesome image, so it really interests them when somebody like says something on the contrary. But I do appreciate you guys sending me messages regardless. Like I said, I don't want to be just talking shit about Japan, like saying all the bad stuff all the time. So I'm going to try to talk about some better things in the forthcoming videos. But regardless, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. I finally made a Patreon, or not a fucking Patreon, what's it called? I finally made a Discord. The Discord is going to be $5 to enter. Like I said, I'm trying to keep the trolls out, and naturally, your boy is trying to get a little extra income, something so I can stop living like a fucking slave out here. It's gonna be $5 to enter. We have already like 10, 11, 12 members. We have a lot of good conversation. We're talking about dating talk, lifting, gym shit, a lot of Japanese study, just Japan talk and conversation in general. We have resources for Japanese learning, links to textbooks and apps and such in there. A lot of super cool guys who are helping each other out, and I've really been enjoying the conversation that we've been having in there so far. So hit me up, message me on PayPal with $5 and your Discord username if you want to join. I'll add you, and then I'll add you to the Discord. So yeah, guys, hit me up. That's most of what I had to say. I'm here in Ikebukuro. My name is yungjamez. My Instagram is yungjamez. All right, peace out, guys. Go suck your dad off from the back.